everyone, and good morning. I'm Courtney Courtwright. Thanks for joining me today for 9 on the positive side. Let's get this positive news show started with a heartwarming story. How far would you go to help a friend or someone you might only see every few weeks? Well, a pharmacist in Kernersville, you could say, went above and beyond her call of duty. Danielle Pierce shows us how she not only donated a piece of herself, but managed to save a life of one of her customers.
I told her, I said, "You're my angel from heaven." She's my angel from heaven, and truly, it's given me, she gave me the gift of life.
It's a gift Pastor Donnie Pickerel has been waiting on since 1991. It came by the grace of God from someone who had already made a difference in his health, his CVS pharmacist, Kathleen Kirkland.
The way Donnie presents himself, he's always positive. He's always saying that, he's blessed by the Lord.
I was very impressed with her because she showed compassion and showed concern for me.
Donnie was born with a rare genetic kidney disorder known as IgA nephropathy. It's a lasting inflammation on the kidney which causes it to fail over time.
I'd already lost 50% function in each kidney, because I wouldn't have any kidneys and I'd be on dialysis in 2 years. And that was in '91.
Fast forward to 2019. The pastor's kidneys got weaker, 50% turned to 7%. He needed a new kidney. He needed his prayers answers. He says God did that, not just in the form of getting him on the donors list, but showing him that his perfect match is already in his life.
He told me, you basically, there's over 300,000 people that are on the transplant list, so you basically have to go find a person and try and find someone that will match for you.
And I told her about what he said about if somebody gave me a kidney, I could serve God and God's people a long time. And she said, "You're a minister, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, I am." She said, "I want to give you my kidney."
I mean, I became a pharmacist so I could help people. He's one of my patients. I knew that if I was the right match for him, that was just meant to be.
In May of 2020, both Donnie and his pharmacist guardian angel Kathleen were rolled into an OR at Atrium Health, Wake Forest Baptist.
I was watching them taking her kidney out, and they said, "It's coming through that door and it'll be in you here in just a few minutes." I'm witnessing a miracle with my own eyes. That Kathleen's kidney is actually going to be in my body in the next few minutes, next hour or so, and it was amazing.
And you were hearing this for the first time?
Yeah, I didn't even know that, Donnie.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Almost 2 years later, and the two are more than just pharmacist and patient, friends whose bond will always be thicker than blood.
I just want to do the best and take the best care of my patients that I can and do anything I can to help them live healthier, better lives.
Danielle Pierce.
And she's a part of me. When I go into the store, when we text, I'll give her updates on my reports, and I'll say, "Our kidney is doing great."
Fox 8 News.
Such a touching story. Students at a school in Illinois are raising money to honor one of their own. 7th grader Lana Beasley was born with a heart defect and has undergone 6 heart surgeries. But now doctors say she needs a new heart. More than 300 students paying $3 to get out of class to attend a basketball scrimmage at the gym. Lana's mother says it's overwhelming to see the amount of support.
My first time walking into the gym, it was just like I had to take it all in. So as I walked in, I kind of gave the look around the gym like, wow, this is really happening. This is for my daughter, and it made me feel good.
She says they'll be making regular trips to St. Louis for tests. It could take up to 5 years to find a matching donor for Lana. If you'd like to help, more information can be found on our website, WNCT.com.
You got the questions, get the answers.
A Durham 6th grader is helping people learn about the coronavirus vaccine through song. Jabri Green Jr., or JJ, loves making music that caught the attention of the state. Recently, they asked JJ to make a song and video to help educate people about the COVID vaccine for kids. It's called JJ's Q&A. JJ's dad says the goal of this is not to force people to get the vaccine.
We just wanted to encourage the population to do your research, find out what you can, ask questions based off what you find and get answers so, you can kind of cancel out all the myths.
Since the State Department of Health and Human Services posted this video on social media, father and son say the feedback has been mostly positive. They say it's also captured the attention of the White House. Now, this sweet story is out of Kinston. One woman has been putting smiles on people's faces with her flower shop business for more than 70 years. 9 on Your Side's Emily Severich spoke with the owner of Ryder's Florist and tells us just what's the reason this place keeps running all these years.
When I asked Miss Ryder what do flowers symbolize, she told me love, understanding, and sympathy. She tells me she's seen people at their happiest and even at their worst. And that's what's continued to get her up and into the shop every day for the past 71 years. Ryder started the business in 1951, working out of the bedroom in her mother-in-law's home. She then operated out of a tool shed in the backyard and finally landed right here in 1976. Jewel tells me she took the job because she couldn't afford childcare at the time. And over the years, her love and passion for flowers only grew. And with Miss Ryder's joy and energy for her craft, you'd never guess her age.
96, 70. I've been working in the flower shop for 70 years. And when you're working with flowers, I mean, like I said, you're just about as close to God as you can get if you behave yourself.
And after 71 years, Miss Jewel is still right here nearly every single day, doing what she loves best. To hear more on Miss Jewel's story, you can head over to WNCT.com and our online originals page. In Kinston, I'm Emily Severich, 9 on Your Side.
Way to go, Miss Jewel. Check out this unique looking puppy. After their dog gave birth, a couple noticed one puppy was green. The rare discoloration is thought to have happened when light-colored puppies come in contact with a green pigment found in bile. A few names they're considering: wasabi and pistachio. Coming up next, do you think you know your history? Let's see if you know the answers to this 11-year-old's trivia. And a little later.
I think I'll continue playing tennis as long as I can, or as long as they bear with me.
Nothing is slowing this man down at 101. What he says the secret to a long life is. If you think you know a lot about the presidents or just history in general, you haven't met this guy, Reed Elliott. As Marvin Bartlett reports, this Kentucky boy's knowledge of presidents is monumental.
I was just checking out books and watching videos.
11-year-old Reed Elliott spends a lot of time doing research in his presidential museum and library. It's really his bedroom, but good luck finding the bed.
A painting of Ronald Reagan. Let's see. A book by Jimmy Carter.
Every nook and cranny of his room is taken up with presidential memorabilia, bobbleheads and blankets, plates and posters. This kid is a walking encyclopedia of White House wisdom.
William Howard Taft got stuck in the bathtub. John Quincy Adams swam naked in the Potomac River. Warren Harding had the longest feet in presidential history.
He became obsessed with presidents in 2018 when he watched news coverage of the death of George H.W. Bush.
Then I just kept watching and watching and watching.
Something clicked in him and he just became instantly obsessed.
His mom posted a picture of Reed saluting the TV during Bush's funeral procession, and that's when he became known as the kid who loves presidents. All politicians, really.
I've met Jimmy Carter, I've met Mike Pence, Mitch McConnell, Matt Bevin, Andy Beshear, and just so many more.
He's also known for his eye-catching suit.
And this is my second suit because I outgrown my other one.
Don't, I repeat, don't get into a trivia match with him.
Who was the first president to appear on television?
Franklin D. Roosevelt.
That's right. What year did Alexander Hamilton become president?
He wasn't a president. Which president's dad was a blacksmith worker?
Abe Lincoln.
Herbert Hoover.
To see this bright kid today, you'd never know of the dark days in his past. A complicated birth damaged his kidneys, and he had a transplant at age 2. His dad was the donor. Then he had 2 bouts with cancer, spending 3 months in the Cincinnati Children's Hospital for chemo treatments. He's now in remission.
I just trust the Lord to help me.
And his family is delighted that he has a presidential fascination to keep him focused on the future.
I have had to give up my beach trips for presidential trips. They've been some of the best family vacations we've ever had.
Reed has other obsessions too, like a love for music.
'Cause if your eyes are on me, you're looking at country.
And Loretta Lynn. What does he want to be when he grows up? President, of course, in 2048.
I just want to get Democrats and Republicans to get together and come united as a nation.
A lot of people have already told Reed he has their support when the time comes, which is music to his ears. Until then, he'll keep biding his time and thinking like Lincoln.
Yes, Thomas Jefferson was the third president. I, as Thomas Jefferson, wrote the first draft of the Declaration of Independence.
And speaking of presidents, Thomas Jefferson making a surprise visit to Miss Lundquist's classroom in Winston-Salem. You could say, well, these students were a little excited to hang out with the third president. While his life has been well documented for these 7- and 8-year-olds, he's making sure they know the good stuff, like explaining some of his work and some things he helped make popular. Interesting, right? Like French fries, mac and cheese, and ice cream. Mac Rutherford from Britain wants to join his older sister Zara in the record books by becoming the youngest person to fly solo around the world. Check this out. His sister making headlines as the youngest female pilot to circle the globe on her own this year. Mac is going to be using the same plane his sister flew. He says his round-the-world adventure will take only a few months.
I want to show that you don't have to be 18 or older. You don't have to be an adult to do incredible things. You can be young.
Mac is looking forward to flying through places like the Sahara Desert and New York. He takes off from Bulgaria next month. The story of determination next on 9 on the positive side, how this student is not letting anything come between achieving a goal. Welcome back. A man from California is defying the odds. Lloyd Lettuce celebrating turning 101, and he's still doing what he loves. Kylan Mills shows us how he's holding up on the court.
They say age is just a number.
I don't feel any different.
Mountain View's Lloyd Lettuce is proof of that.
I think my dad's going to keep going for another 5 or 10 years. He just never looks at himself as being old.
At 101 years young, Lettuce still makes his way to Los Altos High School 3 days a week to play tennis.
I enjoy the fact that they don't mind playing with me.
The oldest of the group by a decade, Lettuce attacks each forehand with all he has.
Just keep my eye on the ball. And sometimes that's hard to do.
I love that he plays tennis 3 times a week. I hate that he drives here by himself and doesn't take Uber.
Lettuce's son Bill with a bit more cautious approach.
I can't convince him to stop driving, but he's very aware and he said he enjoys driving still, so.
Lettuce enjoys studying astronomy, playing competitive bridge, and attending Cal football games every season.
I went to the big game, yes. It was a really nice game for a change.
Cal Berkeley is where Lettuce met his wife of 75 years. The couple has 4 children, 14 grandchildren, and 23 great-grandchildren.
But he loves his family, and it's one thing I think that keeps him going.
Still going and going strong.
He never stops. It reminds me of the Rod Stewart song, Forever Young.
Another year older, another year wiser, and still playing tennis.
I think I'll continue playing tennis as long as I can, or as long as they bear with me.
Kylan Mills, Cron 4 Sports.
One athlete in East Texas is overcoming a major disability to compete in powerlifting. Carson Weatherton was born with one leg. He says powerlifting came easy to him. It was something he's wanted to do since 8th grade. He asked his now coach, Kyle Farrell, in the fall if he were able to compete. At first, there were concerns because the situation was new to both of them. There were questions if he could even compete. But Coach Farrell says Carson has proved he has the desire and fortitude to be a powerlifter.
A lot of people do see it as a disadvantage, but it's also, for me, it's like a motivation to prove everybody wrong.
Carson has come a long way since practices started in July. Squats and deadlifting being a challenge for him, he says. He had to focus on stretching and muscle toning to get ready to compete. A senior on the high school basketball team with autism had the game of a lifetime and a moment that still has a school in Arkansas buzzing. Will McClare shares the story of Seth Adams.
This was the scene at Farmington High School on Friday when team manager Seth Adams got his chance to suit up for senior night.
So we had talked to Seth about giving him the opportunity to dress out on senior night. Then we had a pep rally. Seth gets out there and goes, "Hey guys, everybody come to the game tonight. I'm playing." So everybody goes crazy. And I was like, "Okay, Seth, I see what you did there. That's smart."
Adams, who has autism, says basketball is his passion. He's been with the team for several years now. Coach Johnny Taylor says when it came time to get him in for free throws, he knew he was going to get it done.
He shoots every day. So I knew he would make at least one. I thought he might make both free throws.
And tell me what's going through your head when you make that first one.
That's pretty exciting.
A moment that had his team fired up, as well as everyone in the stands. And his moment didn't end on the line. Adams had more in him and some range.
The three got everyone going. I'd say the whole bench, our whole team just stormed the court, and we had to call a timeout for it. And after the game, you know, some of the student sections came down and they just picked him up and we cheered him on. And, you know, it was a big moment and absolutely enjoyed it.
Our kids wanted it probably as much or more than Seth did.
And that was Will McClare reporting. Up next, how one man is taking playing in the snow to a whole new level. When life gives you lemons, well, make lemonade. And when life gives you snow, make a giant snow dinosaur named Brandon. Check this out in Indiana. Fred Shepard is not messing around when it comes to playing in the snow. He's a concrete contractor with an art background, and this creation is not his first. And it's all to make what you're seeing right here. Brandon, the Snowosaurus.
Give a little happiness, you know? That's what I've done a lot over the years.
Is it fun?
Yeah.
What's your favorite part?
The pink and purple and orange.
That's unique. He loves all the neighbors coming out to see Brandon as much as he enjoyed building Brandon. And now we have one last thing to show you. Otters enjoying some snow, and they seem a little excited. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks for joining me for 9 on the Positive Side.